Catholic. We're so excited to be here, and we're extremely excited to get to this match up here. Two top 28 bound teams. Boy, John Curtis feels like they win the state championship every year. Vandebilt's trying to get to that point. They made it to the top 28 last season.
Maybe a national anthem or a prayer. They're going prayer.
Yeah, pregame prayer. Yeah. Need more of that in the world today. So we're going to get a pregame invocation. Coach Jaworski Coleman leading his team. We're paused here. We don't want to be disrespectful and talk too much during this, but the teams are at center court praying right now together. One, two, three. All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. Before the game, that's my enemy.
What's that?
I'll pray with you from my bench.
Oh. All right, we gave you the starting five. We've set our attaboys and our attagirls, and now we're ready to rock and roll from Vandebilt Catholic. Let's have some fun here tonight.
The PA gone. It's normally, he's not here tonight. All right.
Mr. Ross? I didn't want to be rude, but I could have said, how about them Cowboys to big Philadelphia Eagle fans, Derek Ross?
Oh, he is an Eagle fan?
Yeah. You notice he looked you in the eye, and he just kind of looked down when he gave me nuts. And he knows. Okay. I'm joking.
Look.
People think I'm being serious whenever I say this stuff. I'm kidding.
You are.
But we do have a great crew. Robert Brown, Derek Ross, and Justin Ward. A great three-man crew. Two great teams. We are ready to rock and roll.
And you can tell the John Curtis program's established. They're warming up, shooting before the game. Their JV team's not in the bleachers, sitting down, eating nachos or popcorn. They're underneath the basket rebounding for their team.
Carries right to left on your radio dial in the home white with the blue and gold trim. John Curtis in the red, white, and blue. Blue tops with the red and white trim. It is going to be Mackenzie Charles jumping against Amani Daniel. We are underway with Curtis controlling the tip. The Zooms with the basketball. Terriers starting out in a man-to-man defense. That's not a big surprise. That's primarily what they play. Get it to the top of the key. Now dribbling to the right side, Nelson. To the middle of the floor, Daniel. To the corner, deflected and stolen by Charles. Here come the Terriers. Charles getting it to her sister, Mackenzie. Now they work it to the left corner. It's Johnson. Terriers with their first possession. Johnson on the right side of the floor. Attacks the right side of the floor with a teardrop. No. Rebound goes to Michaela Charles, who lays it up. No. Gets her own rebound. No. Fighting, being doubled, being tripled. Gets it out to Johnson with a shot fake. Now the Terriers working around Campbell. Revision to the starting lineup. We said Maddie Dufresne was a starter a minute ago, but it's actually going to be number 20, Gabby Campbell, getting the start in her place. Johnson near midcourt, being very close to guard. That's Journey Johnson. Has it deflected, and she landed with the basketball out of bounds. So it's a turnover, and John Curtis will take over possession.
Yeah, she's in a bad spot of the court, right when you cross midcourt in that corner. Curtis did a good job of trapping her right there in the corner, first forcing the turnover. In case Michaela Charles is playing outside the lane on offense a little bit. I think she may have to get a little bit closer to the basket.
Curtis in possession. Timmons on the left side. Now they work it to the right side. Nelson closely guarded. They get it. Now back to the Zooms. Now to the left side. Shot fake, attacking the lane, shooting a floater. Offensive foul. It was either going to be a charge on and one, but it is called a charge. Gabby Campbell took it. Gabby Campbell is worse for the wear. She appears to be a little dinged up, but the Terriers get the whistle.
Good position by Campbell for the Terriers taking that charge.
6:34 to go in the opening quarter. Neither team has scored yet. The first whistle goes in favor of the Terriers. Curtis bringing some pressure. Journey Johnson gets the inbounds. She's a sophomore, but boy, she's a good one. 6-foot guard. That's a luxury in the women's game. Johnson has it taken away. Here comes Curtis in transition. Daniel at the rim, and John Curtis is on the board first. Call that a pick six, an open floor turnover. Johnson now coming hard the other way again across the timeline. Getting it to Campbell. Campbell attacks the lane on the left side, and the Terriers answered, and we're tied 2 apiece.
Patriots did a good job of the run and jump in the half-court set that last possession.
John Curtis, DeZunes, getting to the left side of the floor. That is Timmons. Back to DeZunes, working on Johnson. Attacks. Gets the defender up in the air. Now works it back to the wing area. Patient possession for Curtis. They get it to the block. That's Daniel backing down to the corner for a wide open three. Bang, bang. DeZunes scores it. Had a couple of pleasantries for the fans out there, and it's 5-2.
Terriers a full court pressure.
How does Vandebilt answer it? Kerryon Johnson loses the dribble, but is on the floor with it. Curtis trying to tie it up. Instead, they just pull it away. Excellent hustle there to avoid the jump ball, but then they throw it away. Journey Johnson then loses it. Boy, turnover fest. Curtis now on the left side of the floor to the wing for a triple. In and out. Rebound goes to Campbell, and she's fouled. So that'll be the second team foul on John Curtis in the quarter.
Yeah, half-court set. I think the Terriers are in some type of a matchup zone, kind of confusing the Patriots a little bit on offense.
5:05 to go in the opening quarter. Happy you're with us on ESPN 100.3. Campbell. Across midcourt. Getting it to Michaela Charles on the left wing. Charles using a screen. Doing a lot of dribbling, shoots the mid-range. She got that shot. She nailed it. Michaela Charles is on the board, and it's 5-4.
She took advantage of the switch, was a little bit late recovering.
DeZunes who made a 3 a minute ago now to Timmons. DeZunes in the corner. How about another? Nope. Rebound goes to DeZunes. Followed her own miss. They get to the right side for a three from the wing. It's a knuckleball, but it's a good knuckleball from Tasanya Nelson, and Curtis leads 8-4. They've come out shooting. Journey Johnson against the press. Johnson across the timeline. Picks up her dribble, gets it to Michaela Charles. Charles is in the corner, now attacks the lane, feeds it to Campbell inside on the right block, loses it. Here come the Patriots, pushing it hard down the floor. Timmons all the way through with the Euro, and we have a blocking foul. And John Curtis will be shooting two with 3:58 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Lady Patriots playing pretty good, tough defense. Forcing already at least 4 turnovers from the Terriers.
It's the first foul on Vandebilt in the game. And it is on Mackenzie Charles, the twin sister of Michaela. Mackenzie's more of a defense-first player. Michaela is more of the scorer. And boy, they're both awfully good as the free throw is no good from Curtis.
Let's see how long the Terriers are going to stay in this little matchup zone that they run, and they are giving up some three-point shots.
Maddie Dufresne checks into the game. Journey Johnson checks out of the game. Maddie brings you some offense if she gets free from the three-point line. Curtis misses them both. Charles flies in for the rebound, gets it to Campbell, and the Terriers come quickly the other way. Campbell all the way through, missed it. A little too hard off the glass. Curtis coming hard, battling some pressure, and it's nearly stolen, but it gets to DeZunes, and now they get it to the rim for a layup by Timmons. Vandebilt gambled and paid for it. 10-4 the score. Kerryon Johnson across the timeline. The right side of the floor, loses it, but gets it back at the rim. Missed the layup. Charles flies in and has it poked away. Curtis has possession, and now they're running down the floor. They got the Terriers beat. This is a 1-on-0 and a missed layup. Boy, Nelson missed a point-blank layup, and you're right, Coach Coleman sees what you see, which is his team not playing very well, and he calls a timeout with 3:16 to go. But boy, circle that. 3:16. John Curtis missed a wide-open 1-on-0 layup. They may need those 2 points later on.
Yeah, it looked like Nelson, when she was going up, maybe lost control of the ball a little bit and just threw it up, give herself a chance to make it. Patriots extend their lead.
You're down, but you're only down 6. You're a couple of possessions away from maybe flipping that around. Campbell to inbound, gets it to Tyrion Johnson. Johnson is trapped, dribbles out of the trap, gets it to Campbell. Now Curtis sags back, and the Terriers get it across half court. The left side of the floor, Dufresne on the wing, inside to Charles. Charles has 2 on her, backs down, missed it. Kind of a wild attempt there. Curtis trying to push it down the floor in transition. They'll shoot a mid-range splash. That is Nelson who scored it, and it's 12-4. Just a glistening start to this game for John Curtis. They have played extremely well. Campbell has it poked away from behind. Curtis at the rim will lay it up. No. Put back. No. Rebound goes to Mackenzie Charles. Charles gets it to Tyrion Johnson. And now the Terriers come the other way. Michaela Charles at the control.
Yeah, the Terriers have to break the pressure with passing the ball and not dribbling through the press.
Charles standing near midcourt. Vandebilt trying to get into their offense. Offense has been tough tonight. Charles on the left side of the floor using a screen from Dufresne. I guess it's their sister McKenzie. Drops it off to Johnson. Johnson top of the key. Hands it to Dufresne for a 3. Banked it in. Vandebilt needed those 3 desperately. And it's 12-7. A big shot there from Maddie Dufresne. Here comes Curtis. Nelson working on Dufresne. 1:43 to go in the opening quarter. Get it to Timmons. Out to the middle of the floor. Free throw line shot. Strong off the heel. Rebound goes to the floor. Curtis has it. Out to the right side. That's Timmons again. Out to the left side, DeZoon. She's made a couple of shots, but has a clean taken away, but knocked out of bounds. Good defense by Tyrion Johnson.
If the Terriers can keep this close and stay in that matchup zone, they can affect the Patriots. Patriots are not moving much on offense.
Nelson in possession of the basketball on the left side of the floor. Working on Campbell. Now they get it to the right side wing area. Timmons. Timmons looks inside, gets it to the high post. Daniel penetrates a little to the right corner. They get it to Timmons on the right wing. 1:05 to go in the opening quarter. Curtis has a 5-point lead and possession of the basketball. Little pick and roll action, but Charles busted up with the steal. In transition, Charles at the rim lays it up and in. And the Terriers are now on a 5-0 run, and it's 12-9. So good answer from Vandebilt after the quick start by John Curtis. The Zunes attacks the left side of the floor, shoots the mid-range, no. Rebound goes to the Curtis in the lane. They shoot it up and in. Good strong post move that time from Amani Daniel.
You have to keep them off the boards.
Can Vandebilt answer here? They have the arrow and possession, so they got a chance to get 2 possessions in a row with 23 seconds to go. Campbell all the way through, block. Now Curtis coming hard the other way. They got him beat down the floor. At the rim, they lay it up. No, that was a miss by Albert. Now Tyrion Johnson coming hard the other way, loses the dribble. Here comes John Curtis with 8 on the clock. It's Albert reversing it to Nelson. DeZoons needs to get up a shot at the buzzer from 3. No. And our score after 1 quarter. It's John Curtis 14, Vandebilt 9. Exciting back and forth action.
break the press a little easier.
Terriers have possession first. Terrian Johnson with the basketball. Gets it to Charles on the right side. Charles attacks into the lane. Out to Dufresne. Made a three a minute ago. Missed that one. Rebound goes to Curtis. DeZunes getting it out to Nelson. Nelson coming hard the other way. Shoots a mid-range. That's way off. Rebound goes out of bounds to John Curtis. Deflected off of Dufresne.
That was a good box out by Dufresne.
So Cassania Nelson will be inbounding for the Curtis Patriots. And to the right side, DeZunes. They get it in the free throw line for a jumper that's good by Albert, and it's 16-9. Campbell across the timeline, handing it to Dufresne on the right wing. Dufresne attacks into the lane, loses the dribble. I think it was deflected. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So 7:06 to go, and it's a 7-point game. Dufresne to inbound. Gets it into Charles, and she's hammered. A hard foul taken by Imani Daniel, and a great baseline out-of-bounds play. Michaela Charles will shoot two.
Yeah, Michaela Charles faked like she was coming up to set a screen and rolled straight back to the basket.
Charles has 4 points on the evening, and she's got 5 points on the evening. It's 16-10. One more shot coming. And she made them both, and it's 16-11. So 2 free throw makes. Curtis coming the other way. The Zooms. And to Nelson. Albert on the left wing. To Daniel, top of the key. Daniel now attacks the right side of the court. Maybe got away with a little bit of a shove. Now she didn't get away with that time. The second push got her caught. Campbell sold it well, but there was a definite shove and an extension of the off arm there and an offensive foul.
Great position defense by Campbell in that possession. Terriers are doing a good job on defense. I think you have the Patriots a little confused.
Now you got to break this pressure. Tyrion Johnson. That's a basketball across the timeline. On the right side all the way through. Missed it. Rebound goes out of bounds to John Curtis. Charles tried to save it, but couldn't. And now John Curtis will take over possession. Nelson. Into DeZunes. Albert on the right wing, working on Dufresne. Long skip pass to DeZunes in the corner. She made a three a minute ago. Triple threat position. Now doing a little dance. Charles getting it to the left wing. Now back to DeZunes. Attacks baseline to the right corner. They go for a shot. Strong and out. Rebound goes to Mackenzie Charles. Gets it to her twin sister. They push it down the floor. Dufresne, but it was overshot. Pass was a little too far. And it's a Vandebilt turnover with 5:59 to go in the opening half. Curtis on the right side. DeZunes working on Campbell. Now Albert extended on the left wing near midcourt. Now to the right side extended. Get it to Nelson. Looking to work on Dufresne. Get it to the right wing. Good ball movement from Curtis and a good patient possession. That's Timmons who currently has it. They feed it inside to DeZunes to a cutter at the rim. Lays it up. No. It's Daniel on the miss. Tyrion Johnson's got it to Journey Johnson. And Vandebilt comes the other way. Charles coming hard in transition with a teardrop. No. Tries to fight for her own rebound. She's got it on the left side all the way through, and she lays it up and in. That's a great player making a great play, and it's 16-13. Charles has 8.
Crossover move right outside the paint for the layup.
Here comes Curtis. DeZunes with a triple. Got it. Big answer. And it is 19-13. Terriers against the pressure. Mackenzie Charles on the left side. Attacking the baseline with the floater. Yes. So Mackenzie Charles answers with 2, and it's 19-15. Good game. Back and forth we go. You expect nothing less from these two. Timmons. Near midcourt. Attacks into the lane. Now to the corner for a long shot that's no good. Rebound goes to Charles. Charles gets it to Michaela Charles. Now the Terriers have numbers coming the other way. Campbell at the rim, and a reach-in foul will send Gabby Campbell to the line. It's the third team foul on John Curtis with 3:59 to go in the half.
Nice job by Campbell right there, not overpassing, taking the ball straight to the rim, drawing the foul.
4-point game, and the Terriers will be shooting 2.
Last couple of possessions, the Terriers are doing a much better job controlling the boards.
Free throw is good. Lita sub. Vandebilt's going to get number 11, Tiana Stewart, into the game. She's a good player. See if some of those depth advantages that we were talking about earlier in the broadcast can maybe become a factor. Second shot. Made them both. So it's a 2-point game, but it doesn't feel like Curtis is up 7-8 points right now, but the Terriers have hung around, and it's only a 2-point game.
Yeah, Terriers are doing a great job in their defensive set.
Curtis coming the other way. Nelson. Into the Zooms. Got to figure out a way to stop her. Nelson. Get it to the block. Albert. Good ball movement from Curtis. 3:40 to go in the half. Top of the key. Now to the right corner for a triple try. No. Rebound goes to Curtis on the block. They laid up and in. The 3-point miss was by DeZunes, and Albert's the one who scored it at the rim. And now Curtis gets a steal on the inbounds, and they have it on the block for a shot that's up and in. So a quick spurt of 4 in a row for John Curtis makes it 23-17. Here come the Terriers. Charles. Charles at the top of the key, shoots the mid-range, got it. Big shot from Michaela Charles.
Nice touch on the ball.
Curtis went back the other way. Nelson to the corner, that's Shakay Disdunes. Working on Tyrion Johnson. Trapped in the corner, the fans getting into it. Timmons at the top of the key, working to the right side. Nelson loses the dribble, and it goes now to the left corner for a long 3 from DeZunes. Missed it. Rebound goes to Charles. And Charles says, you know what? Even though I'm maybe a post player, I'm going to bring this ball up the floor with 2:14 to go in the opening half. Charles waiting on a screen. He's got the screen. Now attacks to the right side of the floor in the wing area. Penetrates into the lane. Tough shot. Missed it. Rebound back tap, and Curtis got it. Curtis off to the races. DeZunes on the rebound. Shoots a tough mid-range shot. Missed it. Rebound goes to the Terriers. And how's that not a foul? They're going to call a held ball. I saw one player had basketball, one player had arm, and they get the held ball.
Yeah, the last offensive possession wasn't very good for the Terriers. Wasn't much movement.
Michaela Charles will check out of the game for the final 1:45 of the half. Let's see if the Terriers can get a little offense out, maybe their best scorer. To the right corner, Curtis goes. That's Timmons. Shoots it in traffic. No. Rebound goes to Stewart. And here come the Terriers. Tyrion Johnson through the defense on the right side. Missed it. Rebound to Stewart. Lays it up and in. There you go. It's a 2-point game again. 1:23 to go in the opening half. Nelson. Dunes getting it to the middle. Timmons stolen away by Journey Johnson. And Johnson getting it to Dufresne. The Terriers get tired, take the lead. Mackenzie Charles on the left side has it blocked away, gets it back. Now to Tyrion Johnson. Charles inside to Stewart. Made one a minute ago. Missed that one. Rebound goes out of bounds to Vandebilt. off the shin of the John Curtis player with 58 seconds to go. Dufresne to inbound. Gets it to Stewart in the paint. And it's taken away. John Curtis coming now in transition. DeZunes feeding an inside to the left block. A foul will be called, and it'll be 2 shots for Jayla Albert with 47.9 seconds to go.
Terriers did a good job of not letting the Patriots extend the lead. Right here, they have to finish these 47 seconds.
Free throw is good.
Coach Coleman said that's enough. We'll get
Yeah.
Charles back in.
Yeah, so much for me saying Charles will sit out the rest of the half, right? 24-21 the score, 47.9 seconds to go. Free throw is good, and it's a 4-point game. John Curtis has 1 foul to give with 45 seconds to go. Kayla Charles in possession of the basketball. She's got 10. Backs on the left side of the floor. Hands it to Johnson, who's held, and that'll be the 4th team foul on Curtis. There is the foul to give with 33.1 seconds to go in the half. The Dufresne literally right in front of us will inbound. Curtis will sub. It may be their first sub of the game. Actually, number 1, who I don't have on my roster. I took a picture of the book. I might have left one out. Yeah, I don't have a number 1 on the roster, so apologize. I'll get that for you at halftime. Dufresne, 26 seconds to go. Getting a screen from Mackenzie Charles. Handing it to Journey Johnson. Johnson picks up her dribble, reverses it to Dufresne for a 3, way short. Rebound goes to Charles, who lays it up and in.
That was a good rebound by Charles. She wouldn't get the ball, didn't wait for the ball to come to her.
Now the Patriots with 5 on the clock. DeZunes a long 3. An NBA 3 at the buzzer, giving her team momentum before the half. Brian Colley very quickly before the halftime timeout. What are you seeing out there? These 2 teams are going to battle, man.
Number 3, we have to make sure we get our name correct. The shoe
At Bourgeois Meat Market, our slogan is Miracles in Meat since 1891. To be in business over 130 years, the most important thing is to have a quality product. The next most important thing is customer service. Our old meat market is in Schriever, Louisiana, and we're really proud to be opening up our brand new store in Gray, Louisiana. We have Rev at both locations now. So all these new scales and our POS system runs on technology, and we need Rev to make that happen for us. I highly recommend Rev Business.
Whether you compete on a court, on a field, in an alley, or out in the open, in a pool, a track, gym, or course, Thibodeau Regional Sports Medicine Center will help keep you safe. Winning is your priority, your safety is ours. With concussion testing technology, prevention education, and sports nutrition counseling, we bring our A game so you can too. Play it safe with Thibodeau Regional Sports Medicine Center.
the goal. Third quarter, the Terriers are starting with Campbell, Johnson, Charles, and Charles. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Johnson, Charles, and Charles. It'll be Tyrion Johnson possessing first. Terry's now going left to right on your radio dial.
But we want you to go see the Gateway law firm.
That's exactly right. Charles attacks the mid-range. Got it. So Michaela Charles starts the third quarter doing exactly what she did in the first two quarters, and that's scoring the basketball. Curtis. They get it to, well, they lose the dribble. Now they get it to Des Dunes. To the right side of the floor, Timmons. To the left side of the floor, Albert on the wing area working on Journey Johnson. Curtis. Patient possession, not a whole lot of movement right now. They dribble it back near midcourt. Hand it off to Timmons. Working on Campbell. Attacks off the dribble. And kicks it to the corner. That's Nelson who gets it back to Timmons on the baseline. Trapped. In trouble. Gets it to Daniel. Now back to Timmons. And that's an offensive foul. Easy call there.
What a great defensive possession to start the third quarter from the Terriers.
Yeah, Vandebilt smothered them like a blanket there, and they get the offensive foul. So we played a minute of the third quarter. Vandebilt gets a bucket and also a stop. Now let's see if they can get a little closer.
And that's exactly what you want when you play this type of defense. The offense not to move.
Get it to Michaela Charles against the press. Terriers got to limit their turnovers. They had quite a few of them in the opening half. And a very I'm trying to think of the right word to say, but I'll just go ahead and say it. Foolish foul. Fouling on the other side of midcourt. That's the second team foul.
Unnecessary for sure.
And that is the third foul on Amani Daniel, which makes it even more silly. Terriers get it in. Journey Johnson on the right side to Cutter. That's Campbell. Or is it Johnson who missed it? Terriers miss a layup. Now Curtis coming hard in transition at the rim. They miss a bunny. Rebound goes back to number 11, Nelson, who shoots it up and in. So they miss a layup, then make a layup, and it's a 5-point game. The teams have traded buckets.
That time the Terriers shot quicker in their offense. If you can shoot quicker in the offense, you better get back on defense quick.
Tyrion Johnson on the right wing. Mackenzie Charles is in the post working hard. They don't get her the basketball. Instead, they go to Journey Johnson, who has blocked. Fighting for the rebound. It's on the floor. Charles has it with a step-back mid-range. How about it? That's a tough shot from Michaela Charles, who you just get the feeling she's going to try to take over this game. Here comes Curtis. Getting it to Albert. Now Des Dunes back to Albert. Get it to the middle. Nelson. Out to Albert. Top of the key to the right side. It's the mysterious number 1. We'll get you the name. I know we said we'd do it at half. It slipped our mind. Albert. Des Dunes. To the left baseline area. Curtis is kind of passing it around the perimeter here. And as Coach said, this is kind of playing into the Vandebilt trap. It's a three-pointer, no good. Rebound to Charles. So not a very good possession for John Curtis. Terriers get a stop. Now can they further trim the deficit? Campbell on the right wing. To Mackenzie Charles. Top of the key. Attacks off the dribble into the lane. Bounces it off of her foot. Gets it back to cutting Journey Johnson. Missed it. Rebound tap. There she is. There's Charles flying in. But she has it poked away from behind. Here comes John Curtis in transition. And it's going to be thrown off of Vandebilt. Boy, I thought Curtis maybe got away with a travel there, but instead it'll be out of bounds.
Nice hustle by Johnson getting back on defense, knocking the ball away for the Terriers.
Curtis trying to get it to Des Dunes. She goes all the way on the other side of midcourt. Now recovers in an NBA three. Oh, my goodness. She made one to end the first half. And this is a true story. At halftime, we weren't sure how to pronounce her last name. We got the pronunciation. And the quote that we made was, she's too good of a player for us to say her name wrong. She is dynamite. And she just made a very difficult shot. Tyrion Johnson. On the right side of the floor, trying to get a screen. She's very closely guarded. She's tied up. The arrow points to John Curtis.
Good aggressive defense that time by the Patriots.
Here come the Patriots coming hard the other way. On the left side of the floor. Now, is Des Dunes. He's made everything tonight. Attacks into the lane, and it'll be a foul before the shot. With 3:57 to go.
After that turnover, they're coming back down the floor. Michaela Charles looking at her teammates, just telling them all, calm down.
Yep.
Calm down.
That's what a good leader would do. Nelson to inbound. There was a high to Des Dunes. Oh, my goodness. Missed that one, thankfully, for everyone in the gym. We have a head-on collision, and we've got 2 injured players. The young lady from John Curtis is injured, and Campbell is injured. They collided head to head. And the trainer sprinted on the court to go and check on her player, and I think that Campbell's okay. But, boy, that was a scary collision, and she is okay. Great planning from the Terrebonne General staff.
Good job by the officials stopping the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's too much at risk there when 2 young ladies go head on like that. Fortunately, both players are okay. Nelson. It's Des Dunes. It's a 6-point Curtis lead with 3:40 to go in the third. Get it to the middle of the floor, Daniel. Daniel at the top of the key. The Des Dunes, boy, you got to close out on her hard. She's standing near midcourt. That hadn't stopped her yet tonight. Albert near the free throw line, working on Mackenzie Charles. She dribbles out on the other side of the three-point line. One attacks. One's bleeding a little bit. It looks like she was part of that collision. Looks like her lip is busted up a little bit. Nelson. Davey gets away with a little push. Now gets it to the right corner for a 3. Short. Rebound goes to Charles. So Curtis has an empty possession. Now the Terriers come the other way. Vandebilt just haven't been able to go on a run. Johnson with a 3. No. Rebound goes to Curtis. But Johnson trying to take it away. She's on the floor. It'll be a held ball. This time the arrow goes to Vandebilt. So good job by Johnson there after the miss, making up for it on defense and getting the possession back.
Patriots are doing last 2 times on offense, putting Des Dunes at the top in their offense, which is forcing the top person in a matchup zone to come out close to the midcourt to guard her. And that's got a huge opening at the foul line.
2:38 to go in the third quarter of a good game. Curtis leads by 6. They pretty much led throughout. Boy, Mackenzie Charles lays it up and in on the cut. She was wide open. And on the right block, she scores it. And now John Curtis will call a timeout, I believe.
That's the official. Probably getting 1.
Yeah, 1 is bleeding. We saw that a couple possessions ago. So we're going to have an injury timeout. She's going to have to go see the trainer, and they're going to get a sub in. Yeah, we spotted that one a couple of plays ago. Curtis, Des Dunes working on Dufresne, gets the screen. Get it to the left corner. Attacking, that's Daniel, missed it. Rebound goes out of bounds to Vandebilt. So the Terriers get another stop. Boy, it feels like this has been a John Curtis 4-point lead for about 2.5 quarters straight. Terriers have not been able to make that big 5-6-0 run, take the lead. See if it can come now. Dufresne.
You got to clear out.
Cross midcourt and loses it. Here come the Patriots. Des Dunes feeding an inside. Good pass, but a missed layup. And now they try to save it, but Charles has it. Here come the Terriers. Terry and Johnson, they have Charles down the floor, but they overshoot the pass. And a missed opportunity there for Vandebilt with 1:45 to go in the third.
Yeah, a little bit too quick.
1:42 to go in the third. Nelson with the basketball for John Curtis. They have a 4-point lead. Terriers still playing that matchup zone defense.
Bring him out that zone. Bring him out. Bring him out.
Albert on the left side of the floor. Now top of the key, Nelson. Curtis working it around the perimeter. One thing this zone has done, it has made John Curtis a little stagnant, much like we saw with Central Lafourche last night when the Tarpons were in the zone. Not a whole lot of movement. Look, all 5 players just kind of stationary right now. Long skip pass to the corner. Daniel, that's a tough shot. She missed it. Rebound goes to Mackenzie. Charles gets it to her sister, Michaela, and we come the other way.
That's what you want right here in that defense. Good job by the Terriers.
So can the Terriers get a little closer, down 4 points? Charles looking to go to work on the right side. Attacks opposite the screen with the floater. Got it. That's a tough shot, but a great player makes that one look easy, and it's a 2-point game. 30 seconds to go in the third.
Just so smooth when she gets inside the paint.
Curtis now on the right side. That's Nelson trying to go to work on Dufresne. Now they get it to Des Dunes. That's where they want the ball. Or are they going to hold for one? They have the arrow. A chance for 2 possessions in a row for John Curtis. 10 seconds on the clock. Des Dunes working on Journey Johnson. Loses it, but it's deflected out of bounds with 8.6.
Daniel for Curtis almost came and touched that ball before it went out of bounds.
8.6 to go. They get it to Albert on the other side of midcourt. They got to go quick. Des Dunes attacks. Step back. 3. Blocked by Johnson. Great defense by Vandebilt. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter with our score. John Curtis 33, Vandebilt 31. Put on your seatbelt because our game of the week is a doozy. We will be back in 1 minute on ESPN 100.3. All right, 1 quarter to go. Curtis possesses first. It's 33-31. In case you just heard Coach Brian Colley, happy to be here. It is the game of the week. It's a good one. 1 possession game. Curtis, Nelson, getting it to Daniel, top of the key. Now Des Dunes, a long 3. No, rebound goes to John Curtis on the left side. Albert working on Johnson, and boy, a collision. My goodness. And it is a foul called on Johnson of Vandebilt. She's going to leave the floor.
I'm sorry.
And Curtis will inbound. Albert to the right side. They attack. To the corner. Into the paint. Blocked away. But Curtis on the putback. No. Strong rebound and a block by Charles. A lot of contact. Now here comes the Terriers. Charles all the way through. Missed it. And oh man, with all the contact down low. And we'll get a reach-in foul 90 feet away.
That was some action right there.
Yeah, it was. Very physical. Very physical. 7:19 to go in the fourth quarter. Nelson across midcourt. Using the screen. Getting it to Daniel. Patriots working it around the perimeter. There's Des Dunes. Journey Johnson doing a good job defending her in the second half. Johnson is such a long defender. There's the switch. Dufresne on her now. A long 3. No. Rebound to Johnson. Terriers have numbers. 2-on-1. Johnson at the rim lays it up and in. Good, strong move from Journey Johnson. And guess what, folks? It's 0-0 in Houma, 33 all. 6:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Curtis in possession. Nelson attacks Johnson through the lane, shoots it up, no, rebound to Campbell. Empty possession, Vandebilt with a chance to take the lead. Campbell gets it to Johnson, she scored a minute ago. How about a three? Bang! A big shot from Journey Johnson, and it's 36-33. The crowd goes nuts. That's one of the Terriers' only leads of the game. Desdunes trying to answer. Shoots a tough shot. No. Rebound goes to Charles. John Kerson's a timeout.
They rattled out here.
5:54 to go. The Terriers are now in front by 3. Johnson has scored 5 in a row for the Terriers. But you try a heat check. Doing a lot of dribbling right now. She has it taken away. Daniel at the rim lays it up and in. So Curtis gets a basket that they desperately needed. And now we've got a 1-point game. Dufresne to Campbell across the timeline. Campbell to McKenzie Charles. Missed the 3. Rebound goes to Curtis, but the Terriers are trying to take it away. Instead, we get a nice pass and a layup on the right side. That's good by Nelson. And just like that, it's Jaworski Coleman who's calling a timeout. Back and forth we go. The pendulum swings. It's a 1-minute timeout, a full timeout. We'll take it with them. It's 37-36. We'll be back in a minute on ESPN 100.3. Curtis Patriots lead Vandebilt 37-36. Girls basketball action between two state powers. Charles does a long pass that's intercepted, and here comes Desdunes. Desdunes feeds it inside for a layup. That's good. Good finish from Timmons. And boy, the Patriots on the 6-0 run. It's a 3-point game, 39-36. Michaela Charles across the timeline, top of the key. Gets it to her sister McKenzie, mid-range air ball. Rebound goes to Curtis. And they're looking to push. Coming down the floor, they don't have numbers, and they'll settle into their offense. It's Nelson with the basketball.
That's a good timeout by Coach Coleman last time, but you got to set up to break the pressure. Coming out that timeout.
4:36 to go. Ooh, a little shove there by the guard Nelson. Doesn't get it called. Now they get to the corner. Desdunes. That's a tough shot, but she nailed it. She has been in fuego tonight, and it's a 5-point game. Since taking the lead, it has been all Curtis. Since Vandebilt took the lead, rather, it's been all Curtis. Campbell attacks into the lane. A lot of contact, no whistle. The Charleses are fighting one another for the ball. Now Dufresne's got it. Dufresne attacks, lays it up in traffic. No, rebound goes to Curtis. Good hustle from McKenzie Charles trying to take it away, but instead here comes Desdunes. Into the lane, spin, left hand. My goodness! What a finish! From Chakay Desdunes, my goodness, it's 43-36. Now Campbell picks up her dribble, in trouble, gets it to Johnson. Johnson to Michaela Charles on the left baseline. She attacks. Terriers are discombobulated right now. Their spacing is not very good. Johnson will shoot a mid-range and miss it. Mackenzie Charles flies in, missed it. And now the Patriots have it with 3:13 to go. The air coming out of the balloon a little bit for the home team. Des Dunes, boy, has she been a shot maker tonight. Stalking her prey, working on Campbell. Now the double comes. She attacks the baseline and loses it out of bounds, but it'll stay with John Curtis with 2:53 to go in the fourth quarter. Boy, what a turn of events. Just when it felt like Vandebilt was grabbing control, Curtis just came storming back like a tidal wave. On top of the keel, that's the wrong one to leave. Des Dunes wide open for three. She missed it. Offensive rebound to the Patriots. Now another three. Albert. It is a double-digit lead for John Curtis. They have completely dominated the last 2 or 3 minutes of action. Michaela Charles. And across the timeline. Getting it to Tyrion Johnson. Johnson to Charles down low. They lay it up and in. So the Terriers get two when they need it the most. And it's 46-38 with 2:10 to go.
Terriers got to force the issue here with 2 minutes to go, down 8.
Des Dunes across the timeline. Curtis content to just dribble some clock out. Dufresne working on her. Ball's on the floor. There's a steal. And Mackenzie Charles comes the other way, drops it to her sister, who lays it up and in. So it's a quick 4-0 run for Vandebilt, and it's a 6-point game again.
Nice unselfish play.
Charles has 22. 1:37 to go. 6-point John Curtis lead. Nelson working on Dufresne. Near midcourt. Dufresne is a good defender. She attacks. Drops it to the right side. Timmons now to the corner. Des Dunes for a three. My goodness. The shot making of this young lady. It's a 9-point game. Tyrion Johnson for Vandebilt. 1:07 to go. The Terriers got to pick up their pace. Charles loses it out of bounds. And it's starting to feel like John Curtis is going to win this game. Charles is on the floor.
Okay, so your team's up. Let's say with 1:19 to go in the game, your team is up 6. You let someone shoot a corner 3?
I let Des Dunes shoot
it's
from
Des
wherever
Dunes,
she wants to.
My God, what confidence.
That's the type of night she has had tonight. And inside of a minute we go. Curtis in possession of the basketball. Nelson working on Dufresne. The Terriers are not extending their defense. Now they come at a trap. And it's going to be a near steal, but Curtis has it near midcourt. They're fighting on the floor. And John Curtis will call.
That's a good call.
Well, they were trying to call a timeout, but it'll be a travel instead with 42 seconds to go.
Yeah, the travel is a good call. She definitely traveled before the timeout.
Coach Brown was trying to get a timeout. It was unsuccessful. Now the Terriers got to come quick, try to score, and call a quick timeout of their own. Journey Johnson. 38 seconds to go to Dufresne on the right side. Dufresne to Charles. Charles on the block, shoots it up, and she's fouled. So the clock will stop with 32.5 to go. But barring some John Curtis turnovers, it's going to be hard for Vandebilt to get back into this one. Down 9 with 32 seconds to play. Charles has played her tail off tonight. 22 points. She's got a chance to get a few more. The first free throw is good, and it's 49-41. One more shot for the junior. And she made them both. Now the Terriers are going to have to extend their defense. They've got 2 fouls to give. They get it in bounds. Des Dunes dribbling through, and there's one of the fouls with 28.8 to go. And Curtis will call a full timeout. We'll keep it right here, partner. It's looking like John Curtis got control of this one. They've got to get it in bounds a couple more times. And, partner, one of the things that just keeps coming to me is championship pedigree. They fell behind in the fourth quarter. Other teams would have wilted on the road. They said, you know what, this is no big deal. We've done this a million times before. They went on a big run, and it looks like that run is going to carry them to a road win tonight.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game right there. Vandebilt goes up by 3. What's her name? Daniels, I believe, for Daniels. But John Curtis just looked over at the bench and just something in her eyes, and they picked up their defense, got the steal, cut it to 1. Then on offensive side, they had movement. They started to move around, started to believe, and that's when they went on that run. They get the lead back and extend it to double digits.
So let's reset. 28.8 to go on the clock. Curtis leads 49-42. Vandebilt has to foul twice more to get Curtis on the free throw line. Remember, new high school rules. There's no more 1-and-1. Everything is 2 shots after 5 fouls in a quarter. Curtis gets it inbounds. You got a foul. There it is. So that'll be the 4th team foul with 26.7 to go. Going to be another inbounds and then another quick foul, and then Curtis will go and try to ice this game at the line. That was the 4th foul, by the way, on Terry and Johnson. Get it in. Johnson gives the foul. She's just fouled out, but it'll be 2 shots coming for Nelson with 24 seconds to go, and Curtis is a couple of free throws away from getting out of here with a win. The sub is going to be Tiana Stewart checking in. This is a game that both teams are going to be able to use as experience building come the postseason. They're blocking out like it's a 1-on-1. It's not. It's going to be 2 shots. First shot was no good. Old habits die hard. John Curtis will call another timeout. I think Coach Brown is going to tell her team, hey, let's not foul anybody shooting a 3. You know, all the fundamentals, all the stuff that you talk about in these situations. First free throw miss with 24 seconds exactly to go. Nelson shooting it. Harry's got a box out. Free throw looks short, and it is. Rebound goes to Charles. Vandebilt got to come hard. Kayla Charles got to get up a shot. She attacks like a bull in a China shot, but she has it blocked away. And I think the rebound ricocheted off of her.
She fell.
Yep, she fell on the ball, so it's going to go to Curtis, and that should just about do it there with 13.8 to go. Coach Coleman's going to call a timeout, and I think the crux of this timeout is he's going to be wanting to know where was the foul there. He thought Charles got hammered. Partner, this is a game that when Vandebilt's in the Division II Select State playoffs a little later in the season, they'll be able to say, hey, man, can't be worse than that Des Dunes girl that we faced earlier in the season.
Well, if it is, I'd like to see the player.
Now, they are in a bracket with Lafayette Christian, so, you know, maybe it does get worse than this. But all joking aside, these are 2 of the best teams in the state, without question. The level of play tonight was insanely high.
Yeah, and you just, you know, like you championship pedigree, you said it best, where Curtis fell behind on the road by 3 in the 4th quarter, and they just picked it up a notch. And the next 2 minutes or so after that was just fast-paced, aggressive play from the Patriots.
Curtis will have to inbound it a couple of times. Actually, just one time if they could get it in here and go to the free throw lines, deflect it out of bounds. So it'll stay here. $13.5 And there's Journey Johnson on the ball. Des Dunes to inbound. They get it inbounds to 24 Timmons. There's the foul. Charles takes it with 10.8 to go. So 2 more shots coming for the Patriots. We're going to get their second win over Vandebilt this season.
And I like to know this rule here, and I really don't know it. If maybe I'm just overthinking it. You got a spot inbound. You got to throw it in from the spot.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can't run the baseline. But do you have to have a pivot foot, or like she was doing, jumping up and down? Is that allowed?
I don't know. We'll ask Cornell the next time we have him on play-by-play. Free throw is no good. He was our resident rules expert. Timmons misses the first free throw.
I would think you could, but
Missed them both. Well, they did miss some free throws here down the stretch, but the Terriers are not going to have enough offense. Johnson has it blocked and gets it back.
Yes, Bahu.
And that'll be the end of the ball game. So our final score, John Curtis gets a 49-42 win over Vandebilt. It was a really